he was an unexpected but lovable surprise that is called Rotti, a Labrador German Shepherd mix with a very unique twist. Good morning, everyone. We are talking about Rotti. Now, Rotti is a Labrador Alsatian or German Shepherd mix cross that came into our lives unexpectedly, but that I will not give away for all the money in the world. And it sounds silly, I know, but Rotti was part of a litter where the mum was the Labrador and the dad was a German Shepherd. And my daughter picked two of the puppies for her two little girls. They Labradors. They looked like Labradors. And then Rotti was there, and Rotti looks more like a Rottweiler, a small Rottweiler, except he had a lot of hair. He was fluffy. And we said, well, okay, that is the German Shepherd part of Rotti. And he had these huge paws. I mean, huge. We thought he was going to be a very big dog. And he's going to be like a guard dog. But we didn't plan on having another dog at that stage. But my husband went with my daughter to collect the two pups that they had chosen. And I just received these photos of this little small bundle of fluff and joy that was sitting there looking up at my husband. And he says, I'm coming home with Rotti. And I said, well, okay, what's going on? And he said, no, he's just too cute. And actually, I think I've said it with Sadie. I'm going to say this again. Dogs chose their humans. We think we're picking. We are not picking. We are just, and it's there. We think we are going to pick one of the pups, but they pick you. They pick their humans. And I've seen it so many times, and I've read it, and I've watched some videos where they say, you know what, it was just meant to be. Now, Rotti decided that my husband was his human, and I'm not going to stay here, I'm coming with. And that is what happened. So he came back home with the two other pups. The two pups went to my daughter's house, obviously, because it was meant for the two little girls, and they were ecstatic. And then we had Rotti. And so I asked, are we going to rename him? Because he's not really a Rottweiler. He got that nickname because he looked so much like one. Then we decided, no, you know what? It fits Rotti. Why? Because he was this unique, quirky little fellow. He was lovable, he was playful, and he was different. And then eventually we find out what his secret was. He did not grow into his paws. He still have big paws, but he have short legs. He was our short-legged Labrador. And we thought, now, okay, there was something else going on here until we went with him to, we took him to the vets for his normal injections or vaccinations. And the vet just said matter-of-factly, oh, you have a short-legged Labrador. And I said, there's a thing like that? And yes, after Googling, Google, I found out, okay, that is actually a thing. There is short-legged Labradors. So Rotti got that gene, and he passed it on to his offspring. And I won't have it any other way. So we have the normal big Labrador pups, and then we have those quirky ones. And ladies and gentlemen, Rotti has such a lovable nature. He's always up for giving you loves and looking at you with those puppy eyes and saying, you know what, I just need another. I mean, just scratch my neck or my back some more. And so therefore, he passed that on. I am telling you now, between him and Sadie, we have the most unique, most lovable Labrador pups that anyone could ever wish for. And Rotti was part of that. He's the dad. He's the one that decided, no, my time is my time. But what do we also have in Rotti? We have this guardian. I mean, he patrols as well. He and Sadie would patrol the perimeters at different times of the night. But then Rotti is also very talkative. He would sit in the middle of the lawn and then at 2 o'clock at night we'll have a long conversation with the other dogs in the neighborhood. And we have to talk to him because obviously he's going to keep people awake and we have to stop that. Ha! And Rotti will look back at you, come running so that you can just stroke his head or give him a scratch under the chin or something. And then he would turn around and go back to the middle of the lawn and then have a conversation with the dogs in the neighborhood. But I'm starting to realize that he's just protecting his humans and his territory. And he's just making sure, finding out what is the threats in the neighborhood. Because usually when that happens, that I can hear the other dogs in the neighborhood barking and going, some of them go absolutely crazy. Usually there's something happening. There's people in the streets making trouble. Rotti is just making sure we are safe. And although we have to remind him sometimes, listen, this is a bit much, I've also realized that I have to pay more attention or be more attentive to when they start doing that. It has prevented stuff from happening in our yard. And he's very adamant sometimes about this talking to other dogs. But then he's also talking to us. It has, because when it's dinner time, and he lets us know about it. So he's very talkative and he lets us know how he feels about certain things. And that makes him even more quirky and unique. Because it's just a Rotti thing. And then he gave it to his pups as well. Not all of them, but Scrappy. And Scrappy also needs his own video because he is just quirky personified. But also the others. Freya and Raven also has this tendency to be very vocal about how they feel or what they want at that stage. But Rotti is very close to us. Rotti is still very much alive. He's around about 7.5 years now, and I wouldn't trade him in for anything else. Yes, he is not this huge guard dog that we thought we were going to have, but boy oh boy, does he guard this yard and his humans. He can be very adamant about strangers coming into the yard. He's not scared in chasing them away. So we know that when it comes down to it, he will step up to the plate. But then also he's this lovable dog that is always going full out for that extra bit of love, the extra bits of attention. And that is once again where my extra bits pack come in. Because not only is he going after the extra bits of love and attention and some treats and stuff, but he also gives it in spades. He would come and lie down on your feet literally and have just that presence that calms you down. That as with Sadie, he speaks to your soul. He makes you calm. He makes you feel relaxed. Just by having him, he lies right on top of my feet or with his head on my feet. And then you just sit there because you don't want to disturb him. I mean, he's sleeping so nicely. And that is what makes Rotti Rotti. And he never got another name. But I don't think anything else will fit him as well as Rotti. And Rotti gave us, with Sadie, all of these other pups, and they are unique, lovable, loving, loyal, quirky, unexpected companions that will make you laugh, that will make you angry when they start digging holes because they learned that from Ma Sadie. But then also, you can't help laugh at the way they look at you as if to say, but I'm innocent. I mean, I'm just lying in the soul. I don't know where it came from. And Rotti would sit there very proud looking at his pups, and then he would go climb into the dog house, one of them because we have quite a few, and then he would lie down as if to say, job done. I'm done. I've done my part. So, this is the story of a very unexpected but very lovable, unique dog, Rotti, that is still going strong and that I hope will be going strong for many years to come.